Hi, welcome to the 1 Liter Podcast. You will watch us drinking 1 liters of beer whilst talking about shies. Please like and subscribe. Welcome to the 1 Liter.
Prost!
Prost.
Prost, drinkies! Back to some good old-fashioned German beer for me. Been yearning for this.
Yearning for that, yeah.
What are you having there? You got that straight shit.
I got that straight up Smirnoff vodka with the coconut watermelon.
Coming in hot.
Yeah. Oh, it looks hot, eh? Look, fruity.
Fruity. Cheers.
Prost.
Prost.
Mine's been sitting in the freezer, so it's a bit clumpy. Oh, that vodka's on the top.
Oh, damn!
That went
a sip
right
of
in.
vodka.
That was a fucking mouthful of vodka. That was nothing else.
Oh, we might have funny Joel tonight, guys.
Touche.
He's got that mouthful of vodka straight up from the start.
So, do you have a Phil's fun facts for us?
I do.
It's going to blow my mind out of my fucking ass.
Bro, just wait till I pull this one up. Phil's fun fact. Doom.
Yeah. Cut my life.
This is my last resort. Cut. Dead
Cut my life.
That's how he sings.
That's how he sings.
That's how the guy sings.
He's a chopper. Cut my life into pieces like my vocal cords. Yeah, I was a bit over the top. I apologize.
So this is more of like a mind-blowing statistic,
Okay.
really.
Statistics are cool.
Phil's fun fact is, did you know that on average, a car crashes into a 7-Eleven store every single day? Just in the United States.
And you're saying 7-Eleven's the highest. It's
All
got the highest
storefronts?
body count.
All storefronts do get run into all the time, daily. But 7-Eleven, if you averaged out, I think the study was like, because someone sued 7-Eleven for it, and then turns out when they looked into it, over a 15-year period, 6,253 people crashed into the front of 7-Eleven stores with their car. And so if you divide that, that's roughly 1 per day.
Oh, mate. Well, I mean,
It's a big place. But
Yeah.
I still didn't picture that many 7-Elevens out there so that the numbers, like, is it the same 7-Eleven stores several times a year?
look, this is Australia, okay? It gets very hot in Australia. We all know that. Sometimes too hot. I'm fanging for a Slurpee. You know, it's so hot the pedals melted, so I can't put down the brakes.
You can't touch the brakes. It's too hot.
But
your
you
feet
know-
would melt.
You know those Dunkin' Donuts and those delicious, delicious candies that they have in there have enough preservatives in them to preserve a life. You know, that's buoyancy right there. Your car, you're gonna be fine. If you run into a 7-Eleven, if you run into a Macca's, there's a lot of sharp, pointy edges. You know, you don't want to run into that.
And a lot of hot oil.
Oh yeah.
You'd be
Would you
deep
rather
fried.
hot oil or a nice icy fucking Slurpee bath?
Exactly.
Roll around in that sour apple, you know.
I know which one I would pick. Obviously, burning to death on on boiling oil.
You're like, I hate Slurpees. That's absolutely fascinating. That's hilarious. Did you have a good laugh when you read that?
Yeah. I was like, what the hell? And so I like looked it up and worked out how they actually worked out, because all I saw was like 1 a day. And I was like, what?
Can you imagine if you didn't actually look them up to see if these are legit?
Yes. And they were just like
Some random dude
made
on
up
fucking,
shit.
Yeah,
I'm just
Reddit.
looking on someone's page that they're trying to go viral memes and just take, that's fact.
Yeah, that's fire. That's fire right there.
That's fire. Did you know that dinosaurs actually had feathers and they were just giant chickens? Fact.
That's pretty. That's. I mean,
That's actually a theory, isn't
They've
it?
got some serious info around that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do.
So you and I recently, and when I say recently, I mean like the last 15 minutes,
Literally just now.
watched What Women Want.
What women want.
So we had our last podcast, we had a poll, select one of 3 films and we will watch it and go over it. So it was What Women Want, Role Models, and Zoolander. And
Role Models is a tight second.
Role Models was a tight second. Everyone wanted us to do that one, but anyone who wanted us to do it means that they've probably watched it as many times that I have, and I'm sure you have as well. To watch that would be, we got to challenge ourselves at least. That one would be too damn easy.
Yeah. What women want. I hadn't seen that in years.
But
It's
because
a 2000 film.
yeah, fuck,
That's old.
that's 23
Now.
years ago, bro. Yeah, I remember in 2000. I remember being little, like year 3, and I was like, holy shit, I'm so small. And it's year 2000. Now it's 2023, and I'm like, fuck, what? Why does some past memories feel like they were like yesterday, and
Way closer than others.
and then other parts are like, fuck, I can't even remember.
Yeah. I have no idea. It's probably just imprinted in the important section of your
Yeah,
brain.
survival.
Well, in 2000s when I moved to Australia.
Yeah, so that would have
Big
been
moves.
a lot of those. Like when you think back now, are there specific emotions that just arise and chemicals in your head just running around? Yeah,
And it was like, I wasn't even worried. It was just,
that's
I
the funny
hated
thing.
school in Germany.
Yeah,
And so when my parents were like, oh, we're moving to Australia, I was like, catch you later, you dickheads. I was so like chirpy to get the fuck out away from all my friends. I was like, fuck yes, I'm going to Australia.
what kind of information did your parents give you guys on Australia? Did you do your own research, or did
I was
they?
too little, I think. I was like 9 years old.
So when you got there, you were just like, oh, it's a bit fucking hot. All right.
Yeah, I think they said it was going to be warmer, but we probably...
Yeah, it doesn't snow here, mate. We're only like
Well, yeah,
pocket-
no snow. And then they were like, oh, swimming, beaches. And we're like, oh my God, that sounds sick.
Do you remember what snow felt like in Germany when you were a little kid? Do you
Oh,
remember it?
yeah.
Still remember?
Oh,
it?
yeah, man. I had some sick times in the snow. Like, I would walk home from school and it would just be snowy. Walk. Do-do-do-do-do.
How old were you? Like 7?
Yeah.
8?
So from 7, 8, and then I moved when I was 9. So I'd walk home and it'd be snowing and it'd be snow everywhere. And then we'd do like snowballs or like roll big snowballs to make like snowmen. And there was this one like playground park area where there was like a hill as well. So in the winter, that was where everyone took their sled.
Oh,
There's this little hill with like
sledding looks
playground
so
on
fun.
the bottom and stuff. And that's where we'd go. And then we'd walk home across this like field in the playground. And I remember rolling this, oh, let's make the base of a snowman and roll it all the way home. Giant snowball. And we were rolling it across the snow, and then they'd cleared the path. Plowed, that's the word I was looking for. Plowed the path so there's no snow. And we got this snowball onto this concrete path, and like it was pretty jagged and like not perfectly round, and it just like lodged itself on this little flat section. And my mum, and I was tiny, so I was like, my mom's a strong woman. And she's like pushing this with all her weight and couldn't get this snowball to continue on this concrete
How big
plowed
was this
path.
fucking snowball, man?
Well, I remember her having like her shoulder into it.
So this wasn't
My
like
mum's pretty short, but like shoulder, I'm assuming it'd be higher than our waist.
yeah.
Snowball. I'm assuming I was pretty little,
And
so
were
it
you
could be
just-
exaggerating.
What were you doing? Just sitting there smiling politely.
No, I was like, we gotta get it home, there. And she's like, ah. And then I remember she
Oh,
hit
this
it.
would have been in German. So what would that have been?
I
Did the
don't
little
know.
kid and like this kind of so like what? It's my kind of los.
Ich will den Schneemann bauen.
Mein Bauen.
Schneemann is snowman.
Schneemann bauen.
Mm.
Schneller.
So I was like, oh. And then I remember her pushing it, like ramming it with her body, and it cracked.
Oh.
It was like, but it was so sick because you could see like the inside of a tree. It had all these layers from where we were rolling, and it was picking up bits of grass on each layer. So it was like the inside of like an old tree with all these layers of where we had rolled it to collect all the snow.
That stuff would have been binding as well.
Yeah, that's dope.
Wow, dude.
I just remember that. I was like, oh my God, I created a tree life in snow.
It's going to You've relocated it. Now it's going to grow. And then was your mum like, sorry, let's go home. Let's do this.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't remember from there. That was a significant memory right there.
And
And then
then-
after that, it was just like,
Funny how
don't
we
need to
have-
keep this.
Yeah.
Brain's like, nah, useless information. We just want that emotion of the giant thing cracking.
We have black spots.
Absolutely, we do.
Crazy black
All the
spots.
time, everywhere.
Yeah.
It'd be scary if you actually sat down and tried to remember all the things that you've done and how many black spots you actually have.
Bro, I can't remember what I did on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I have snippets like images in my head, but I can't remember what I ate for lunch that day. And I certainly can't remember half of the thoughts I was having at the time.
But at the same time, if you had written everything down, right?
Oh,
and then
it'd
you
be
read it
nuts.
in the future, you actually get all the images back. So they're like stored somewhere. You remember it, but you're just like, oh, well, I don't need to recall that info. So it just tucks it away without like a little device to claw the memory.
Marty! Oh, fuck, Doc, we gotta get our memories back. Back to the Future 4.
Are you guys playing Morty's Mind Blowers?
Yeah. Does that show, how did the newest season of Rick and Morty end? Was it good?
Dude. Oh, yeah, that was pretty good. But have you heard about Rick and Morty?
No, did you get to see the mum?
Yes. I can't remember now. But
she
dude, they
cool?
fired the guy.
The vocal guy?
Justin, yeah.
Why?
Because he was charged with domestic violence or something. Or domestic abuse.
Can't suck shit.
So they just went... So there's now no voice for Rick, Morty, and like a bunch of the other characters. And now there's all these fans that have come forward. And the guy, he actually reviewed a few of the voice mimic actors, like on YouTube and stuff. And he said, oh, this guy's almost the same. So people are rumoring that they might pick him and
Imagine
you won't
being
even
that
notice the
fucking
difference.
guy. Yeah. Can he bring that kind of like funny cadence though?
He's a co-writer, so he helps write a lot of the shit. So it
chimichanga.
could turn out very different with the same voices. I'm
That's
concerned.
I'm concerned. Hey, so Phil and I watched What Women Want.
What an interesting film.
What an interesting film.
What were your like overall comments? I think we kept being like, oh, this film's like, it's decently written and like it's got these segments and all this stuff. And
the film had like a lot of cool moments where like in one film the character will go from one relationship with one person to another. Like I got to talk to this person, then I got to fight that person, then talk to this person. Blah, blah, blah. It's real quick.
Mhm.
But this one had like long blocks where you knew what was going on. You knew the stakes he had with this one character, but there'd be 15 minutes of one scene talking to this person, and then they get back to the main story, and then another 15 minutes doing something else. And it was just like, it wasn't at a taste where you were kind of like, where's the main story? What's this going? Like you knew the main story.
all knew, yeah, it all fit.
I think the one word I could put to this film is summed up in one word would be like, I guess compassion.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
What about
like
you? You like the compassion?
that's like the driving force, isn't it? And that's like what he needs to learn throughout his journey as well, towards women, that is.
Yeah. And I guess he compassion for himself as well. And
Yeah, that's true. Instead of just being Mr. Playboy.
Yeah. Like I found, like, and I kind of like, I know men's lives, we do a lot of hard shit, and I know women's lives aren't any easier than ours, and like
It's different shit.
different
It's
shit.
a lot of different shit.
Like it's the same. It's similar to when you work at an office job and you work for 8 hours and you're fucking exhausted afterwards, and then you speak to a person who just built a house.
Yeah.
And they could say to you, "What do you know about being tired?" You're like, "Man, it's like that mental exhaustion's crazy."
Yeah.
And
Two very different things, but just as draining.
And I found from watching What Women Want, it seems like men are very impulsive. Like we're very critical and thinking, but at times, like, we can be very driven by things, and women are equally as it's driven.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of more mental circuitry that I feel like or like emotional stuff
Mm-hmm.
that they go through that men are like, you do this, I do that. Haha, cool. Women are like, if they don't turn around and touch me on the shoulder right now, I'm just going to die.
Yeah.
Very subtle cues. And so women, honestly, watching that movie, most women on the planet must be just trying to be content with their life with their male partner, unless he's like, no, he's very compassionate and open with his emotions and emotionally mature. I feel like every women are like, God fucking damn it.
Does he ever feel?
Yeah. Why does he have to wear that shirt to the evening,
Do you think that is a lot to do with stereotyping and we have to suppress that stuff and we actually do think and feel a lot? Or is it that we just blasé over it in our nature?
I think so. I thought about it for a long while, when, you know, a lot of this stuff is like, well, if people are going to start saying this, then men can fight back and say, you know, more suicides of men. Men are taught when they were young, we can't show our emotions. We have to be tough and stuff. And for a short while there, when I considered it, I was like, yeah, like we shouldn't be made fun of just because we're showing our emotions. It doesn't mean we're any less powerful and dominating and you know, hunter gatherer, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I thought about it, I was like, I think we shouldn't feel ashamed about showing our emotions, but we do need to be the strong right arm, you know?
Yeah.
Like men need to, like if you babied your son at a young age, the same you babied your daughter, I think that he'd be he'd be a good, honest, kind person, but he might be a bit too soft.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you need to
Need
sometimes
that bit of masculinity.
100%.
Yeah. I get that. What was funny is throughout that movie, we were like saying about how it's written, and you were like, at the end, he's got like 3 problems that he's got to fix. Quests, and it's like quests, and then we like linked it to like, that's like the human nature. Like the man has to go on quests. Imagine if we just lived our lives
Thinking everything
was a quest.
Dude, can I just comment on this?
Yes, please.
Can I break off that? Like,
divulge.
Like men, like I've sometimes as a man, you feel lazy, right? And you're like, nah, I gotta get up. It's a Saturday morning. I want to sleep in, but I gotta get up and do this housework. I'll do this and this.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get to the fucking hardware store. Or, you know, go.
How often do we do that?
Yeah, exactly. But like, it's hard to be motivated sometimes, right? It's very hard to be motivated, especially if you're a guy who's just like, if you're a guy who works his ass off, and then it comes to the weekend, or you know, you get home from work, it's like 6 p.m. and then like you're like, oh fuck, I don't have any groceries. Fuck it, I'm gonna order Uber Eats instead of like going to the store, and you know, so like, and a good way to motivate yourself is because. Dude, any man on the planet likes swords and quests and fighting dragons and shit. So if you men out there listening to this, if you think of every single thing you do in your day, not so much go to the toilet or cook yourself, like make yourself a sandwich, but like everything that involves you going out and collecting something to make your life easier or better or, you know, whatever, that's a quest. I got to go and fill up my car. That's a quest. You know, you think about it like a fucking quest. Like, yeah. And then when you get home, you're like, I went out there, I did the thing that I wanted to do, and I came back. Achievement.
I have completed the quest.
Yeah. And so you might think, oh, one thing I did today was lame. That's why you got to pile on the quests throughout the day. So you said, bro, I completed 12 quests today.
Boom.
Can you imagine, like, do you know those days where you do like 12 things? Like you like fucking got the car, what's the thing called? Every fucking service.
Yeah.
Got the fucking car serviced, went and got this, bought that, sorted this out, sold this product, helped someone move, fucking went to a wedding. Like you did like 12 things.
To a wedding. Yeah. Helped someone move, went to a wedding the same day.
Yeah, bro.
I still feel energetic, whatever.
You feel like the fucking man, bro, because you completed all these quests.
That's like so deep. Yeah, I love that. But imagine like thinking of it, okay, I've got to duck down to the shops and get these fucking groceries. I can't just order Uber Eats. I got to go on a quest.
Yeah. Think about this, right?
Use it to improve.
Yeah, exactly. Our ancestors, right? They were living in fucking caves and like little teepees and huts and shit, right? And you're living in a small village and shit. And like you and your squad go out to hunt a fucking mammoth, right? Mm-hmm. The mammoth, you and 4 other dudes, the mammoth wipes out those 4 dudes. And you get injured, and then you got to go back to camp, and they're like, holy fuck, 4 of our hunters, like our young, youthful hunters who were like the future of our fucking tribe, 3 of them died from a mammoth, and 1 of them's back and he's injured. Who's going to defend us if something like a beast comes in or this or that, right? So you're like, fuck, well, I just came home. That mammoth was supposed to feed the whole village. I got to quickly go out and shoot a couple of rabbits and bring home that to feed 12 people, you know? So like that's it's like our modern day version of us going, fuck, the missus is cooking spaghetti tonight. I forgot to get the fucking
cheese.
Forgot to get the cheese. So you got to go on a quest, and it's like, you know, it's the same thing. Shooting bunny rabbits, getting fucking mozzarella, you know.
It's the exact same thing. hopping on a horse and shooting some rabbits, or
Fucking
hopping
hell.
on a motorbike and getting a quick cheesy treat. Ring ding ding, bang.
Cheese.
Cheese.
Yeah.
To the cheese shop.
Do you know why I pulled you over, mate? Oh, because I was trying to get me fucking cheese in a hurry, mate. He's like, wait, hang on. What's your wife cooking?
Oh shit.
You're like, she's cooking spag bog, mate. Right, get on your way, mate. You don't want to piss the missus off. You're fucking starving, you know? Male police should have sympathy for other Aussies. Like, I'm sure they do. Like, most cops you come across, they're like, all right, I'll give you a fucking warning here right now.
Yeah, it's
Just
true.
don't do it again. You're like, thank you. But other times you get pulled over and you got a bunch of people in your car and they're like, you're fucking doing 2 kilos. Don't fucking need 'em, mate. 2 kilos? Yeah.
2 kilos over.
So, with What Women Want, it was just nice to watch it. Coming back to What Women Want, it was nice to watch it, and it was nice to feel like I wasn't discouraged that, because when you watch it, like, holy fuck, women aren't high maintenance, like some are, like men, but you really got to, like, it's not just about physical, like, you really need to, like, stop, listen to what they said, and just be there for them, you know? And
With anyone, yeah.
with anyone, definitely. But like with women, it's like you need to take that extra step. And like when I saw that, and I know, and I could obviously compare in my life and say I've never been the best at listening and being more compassionate, but seeing that, it was like I didn't feel discouraged. I was encouraged by it. I was like, yeah, fuck, I want to do that too. Because like, look how, like, at the end of the day, like, his life was great. Like Mel Gibson, bro, he got the woman. His daughter was happy with him.
Well, do you reckon you can do like a really quick plot overview? Because we obviously want to discuss the actual very interesting principles that they've put in this film, because it's mind blowing.
All right, Mel Gibson's character, I can't remember. A man is
Nick.
Nick. He's kind of like an accidental chauvinistic misogynist, right? Almost like accidental as in he grew up his whole life getting attention from women because his mother was like a burlesque dancer. So it was like he was always around women lording over him. So that's what he grew up with. He knew he could manipulate women and get women to do what he wanted, and he never really had to invest too much in their lives. He's got a daughter from a divorced family, a divorced wife. They're estranged. The daughter goes and lives with him, obviously custody at the time, but like she hates him, resents him. She's 15 years old. So she's in that age where she's like puberty and shit. He works at a company, an advertisement company, and he's basically next in line for this role, but I guess he doesn't have what they needed at the time. So they hired an outside person to come and join the team, which is a woman. So for the first time in his life, he's working under a woman.
And she took the job that was meant to be his.
Took his job,
Yeah.
you know, and he's like, you know, women are usually this thing, and now I'm being threatened by one. So, and around the time he electrocuted himself and with a little touch of magic, he basically got the ability to listen to women's thoughts, just on top level thoughts, like
the just very direct thoughts. We had this discussion because we were like, it must be like the thoughts that you're thinking, this is what I could say in this situation. Those kind of thoughts where Joel says something and I could be like, oh, I really want to tell him to fuck off.
Yeah.
Those kind of thoughts, but then you say something else. So they're the thoughts that he can obviously read.
Yeah. So he basically gets better at, when he finally accepts the fact that he can hear women's thoughts, he starts to use it to his own advantage. I mean, like getting women to have sex with him and stealing his boss's ideas. So he ends up getting the role of the role that she was hired for. He ends up
the job back. Yeah,
he gets the job back. She gets fired, but along the way, he was working with her, and he becomes more compassionate towards women because he can hear their thoughts. And then he saves this one woman from committing suicide. He was able to elevate himself and the woman he loved, and ended up loving in the show. And he ended up getting his daughter to, I guess, came around and, you know, was the father that the daughter needed.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 quests. He stitched back together the relationship with his daughter. He was able to be better at his job and obviously ultimately become more compassionate and, you know, care more about women. And then 3 was like he found love.
And then there's those mini quests like at the end where he finds out that the girl that has suicidal thoughts isn't there. So he has to go on this mini quest, even though he just found out that the girl that he loves now has been fired from the role and he's got to go save her. But first he's got to stop off at this girl's place to make sure she doesn't hurt herself.
Yeah.
And then he gets a call that his daughter's crying at the prom because her boyfriend's a douchebag. He's got to save that. It's all these mini...
It's funny, man. You know, you just describing that reminded me of like responsibility. Like some people are so antisocial now because they know if they start to communicate with people, that becomes more drama, right? So you start hanging out with people, then one of them gets a broke up and you got to hang out with them. If they're having a party, like a banquet, you want to go to it and hang out with them, and then one friend does this, and then you're just like, so like you say, I'm going to go to this party tonight and hang out with these new friends. And then one of the friends you meet ends up crying on your shoulder all night. So then you end up staying at their place, and your plans for that Saturday or Sunday are ruined now because you end up going home at like 10 a.m. and you
Way more.
Yeah.
Social responsibility.
Social responsibility and drama. But at the end of the day, that's what a king is, right? A king takes care of the people, and you got to be your own king.
Mm-hmm. Got to have that social responsibility. And it's also like, that's what humans need. We need to interact. We need to know each other or be with each other, be there for each other. It's fucking wild.
It is. Encouragement, strength, all that shit. So what women want for me was, the biggest thing for me again was the word compassion. You know, it's a compassion for your fellow man, compassion for your fellow woman, and just don't judge a book by its cover and shit.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
Would you want that electrocution power?
Of course I would.
With specifically women, or if there was any type of person or something you could read their mind?
I think I would like to go with the woman one, not just for my own gain of like being able to pork women, but like
to learn what he learned.
To learn what he
how
learned.
they understand and respect them.
Yeah, like he was super compassionate towards it. Like at one point, what was he doing? And he ended up crying. He was watching TV or something like that. And I was like...
He just finally stopped flicking away from the women channels, and it's this lady talking about she was a mother of 2 kids and she was so overweight she couldn't do anything with them, and then she lost all this weight. And he's like, what's wrong with me, man?
Yeah.
He's crying and shit.
Dude, like, if I had that level of compassion, not only would that make me a better person, I'd be able to communicate with people better, make my acting better. I just feel better about myself.
Yeah.
You know, like
legit.
It was funny. The day after I did that workshop recently, the acting workshop, and you and I hung out. I think we hung out the day after.
Yeah.
And because I had spent all day listening to someone and reacting from what the stimulus they were giving me, that's basically acting. You really had to listen. When we hung out, bro, I was like really focused in on what you were talking about.
Yes.
Like I was like, you know,
present.
You can wonder, but yeah, like it was, and it felt good. I was like, wow, Phil's on doing this.
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
It was sick.
Being more present because you can like actually read and understand what a person's saying.
What about you? Would you take that?
Oh, 100%, dude. I'd go crazy like him at the start. I'd be like, holy shit, information overload, because I'd want to make sense of everything. That's how my brain works. I'd just be like, how? What is happening? Too much. Why don't you like me?
Yeah.
Why don't you respect me?
You Scooby-Doo for a second. Yeah. Hey, come on, Raggy. Love me.
Yeah. Now, here's the age, like the most important question of this whole thing.
All right.
The movie makers, do you think they accurately showed what women would be thinking? Now, this is controversial. We got to be careful how we answer here.
That was like modern city, like a city woman
in Chicago, isn't it?
In Chicago, yeah.
Chicago,
the Windy City.
But is that how women actually think?
That's the thing. We don't know.
We have no idea.
That's why we're so intrigued by this movie. I think one thing that was definitely understated, and every man should be aware of, is like we definitely don't listen and we don't read between the lines when it comes to women.
Yeah.
Like when like men, we look at like obvious signs in facial expressions and body language, but women can see through shit, man. They're like hawks, right?
Yeah.
Eagles. So I think being more...
They're observant.
Super observant to it's like crazy. So like I think if men were able to observe as much as women we'd be a lot calmer people, I think.
Yeah. So do you think we would would we benefit? Do you reckon it would be way cooler to be able to read people's minds or women's minds, whatever? Would it be cooler to read people's minds or be able to control what their actions are? Actually, I know exactly what I would want.
Yeah, I think personally I would choose reading minds.
Absolutely.
Because
the other one's just creeper.
The other
even
one's
still.
Yeah, I think I would just go overboard with manipulation.
Yeah.
And that'd be the complete opposite of hearing and being compassionate. That would just become completely self-indulgent.
But if you become like him at the start, you could be doing the same thing. You could be controlling their actions by guiding their thoughts because you can hear them all.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like she's like, oh, I wish he would be more sensitive about this. He's like, I'm so sensitive about this.
That's true. He was guiding them. Like, yeah, he was
guiding their thoughts.
That's crazy, Gibson.
Gibson. Do you reckon he did a good job?
I think he did a good job. Yeah, I thought.
Do you reckon it should have been someone else?
Nah.
If you could pick someone else, who would play him?
If I could pick someone else who would play him, I'd probably... I don't know who I'd pick off the top of my head, but who I'd like to see have a crack at the role would be someone like Gary Oldman.
I gotta Google it, man.
Gary Oldman or like... dude, Jack Nicholson would be fun. Oh. I think you're beautiful. I'd like to... I'm reading your mind.
Because he's got to be like older, right? He's meant to be in like his 40s, we figured.
But Gary Oldman, Gary Oldman's like a serious actor. I think him doing it would just be like, I would just love to see the way he approaches it. Like,
and like, being, oh my God, like starts realizing shit.
Yeah. But no, I think Mel Gibson was the perfect balance between like energy and, you know, holding him like being present, I suppose.
Do you know what he had at the start? And we picked out when they were portraying him as this chauvinistic schmuck.
He was so fake.
I just thought he was so good and so fake.
Yeah.
But a lot of that was like, to us, we were watching it and it's like, that's so rapey. Like he was like, why don't you want to come out to dinner with me? Like he's pushing himself onto these women. Like, come on, come out to dinner with me. Do you think that's also to do with the era? Do you think it's changed much since 2000? Like if this movie was being directed right now, do you think they would have done all that differently? Like it would be different because you'd have texting, you'd have...
I think the over presenting himself would definitely not be in it. So like
dampened way down, right?
She said she didn't say no, which is like a loophole that men use. Well, she never said no. It's like bullshit. There was like two full blown body languages of no, leave me alone. No, I'm not interested. Leave me alone. And then he kept pushing a third time, and then she was like almost acquiesced just to leave, like capitulated, so he'd fucking go, okay.
Yeah. So, but
please leave me alone.
Do you think that was just badly portrayed in the acting? Because once we hear her thoughts, she like wants him, but she's trying to hold back. So maybe she just didn't present that enough at the start.
Yeah, I think at first maybe she was like, this was her choice in acting, but at first when he was like showing signs, she was almost like confused, polite, because it's at my job.
Yeah,
like,
you think you're so good.
He's asking me out. Yeah, and then the second time she was like, I got the vibe that she was like, no, I don't want this. You're a creep. And then
creep, or was it like, no, stop asking me out. I don't want to give in because I've been hurt. That's her thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Once she mentioned that she had been hurt, it was like that's when it changed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy though.
It's so strange, man, to be able to hear someone's thoughts. If you were like, okay, if you can hear people's thoughts, right? You pretty much have the pick of the litter for any career or role, because you could like rock up and be like, this is my job now, and then I guess it couldn't be like an IT job because like you'd still need to learn these things, but any job that requires you to be a speaker or have information and share
relationship job,
like counts. You could
with ideas between people.
Yeah, imagine being a lawyer and being in a courtroom and hearing what your counterpart's thinking. I hope
the truth.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't bring up this or this, and then the truth. Yeah, so you could like, the guy's like, I killed her. They're never going to catch me. And you get him on the stand.
You better not ask me about Gary.
Yeah, and be like, tell me about Mr. Johnson, Gary Johnson.
Yeah, Mr. Johnson, Gary Johnson.
Yeah.
Zoom in on the face, Gary. Fuck, he brought up Gary. How did he know? Oh shit.
If your name
Hot
is
round.
if your name is Gary, what color would your shirt be?
Blue. Every day.
What shade of blue? 3, 2.
Dark. Dark. It's like a navy. Whew, saved. I thought surely you'd be going for the obvious. If your name was Gary, what would your nickname be? Gaza.
Gaza Almazrius.
Should have done a counter.
Should have given me the
Counter blat.
counter blah blah. So, man, you know what? We had for Wednesday, Thursday, we had like a company. It's killing me.
I was about to say, tell me about these quests, because the quests.
Look at this.
Going.
If you're listening on Spotify right now, you can actually scroll down from the play, and we've got video. For those of listening who never watched, we actually have videos. You can watch us. I'm sure if you can see, but I've got a big bruise on the inner forearm. I ain't a pussy about it. It's alright. Look, I can touch it. It's fucking So, anyways. My work did like my team, my logistics marketing kind of team. We did like a small 2-day
Team building, is it?
We did a 2-day team building exercise thing. Most of it was sitting in a boardroom discussing the future of what we're doing and our plans, and then the
company talk. They got to do that so they can pay for the fun
and
activities.
they brought food in and stuff. So we did it out in Manly, in the Manly Pacific.
Nice.
Pacifica, whatever the name of the hotel was. I think originally we were supposed to stay there, but we didn't. But they already booked everything else, so we had to just travel out to Manly. And at the end of the first day, we ended up doing axe throwing at Kiss My Axe in
Kiss My Axe.
Brookvale.
How did you go?
I did fine, man. It was good. Like
Whoa. Fine.
Here's the thing. I learned. I played one game and I got like four or five bullseyes in a row.
Bullseyes.
Yeah,
fuck.
just like boom, one, boom.
With the two-handed or?
With the two-handed, because I figured it out. I understood exactly at what point to let go. Like I'd figured out the mechanics like that.
Yeah.
And then we competed with each other, and then I started to like get cocky because
Yes.
I didn't want to win by just like playing it safe, because it wouldn't mean any fun with that. Sure, I would have won, but there wasn't any.
You got to give it some and pretend you're throwing an axe and you're a Viking or something.
Exactly. So I started to try flicking the wrist just in little moments, and sometimes I got them in, but they wasn't bullseyes, and people next to me were just bullseyeing. So like they were playing it safe. So I was like, whatever. And I got eliminated. So I was like, now that this area spaced up, and because like when people were done playing, they would walk off and get a drink.
Right.
So just like the guy was like, please play here if you want.
Oh, in the other
people were
lanes.
competing.
Nice.
Yeah. So I just got up and started throwing axes one hand, and I realized if you stood a bit closer, you could get it. And then this old bloke caught on, and I showed him how to do it, and then he started doing it, me and this Scottish fella. And then my other boss, who's like from Luxembourg, this German fella, he started doing it. So while there was this competition, like the people were being narrowed down, like our team were like playing this competition, we're sitting there like dedicated to trying to get
doing the one hand.
Yeah. And in the meantime, they had
Is this the same place?
the same place on the corner. They had like the bow and arrows, like archery, but
that's dope.
the end wasn't pointed. It was like the rubber end, and they'd like spray the thing. So it's like sticky. And so I was doing that, but what I was doing is I was pulling the string close to my body, and when I let go, the string whacks my arm and shoots.
Because you got your elbow like locked out as well.
Yeah,
and your forearm sticking out.
And the thing was, like, I was getting all my shots, I was thinking to myself, oh, this must be how you do it. You just have to deal with the fucking wounded arm. But then my boss was like, no, you shoot, you hold the bow out like a gun and you lean into it.
Yeah.
And let go.
It's a super common thing though, because they sell like the guard for your arm. It's like a piece of like
leather,
solid leather.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah. So I've seen those. So I was like, oh yeah, that's my thing. What about your week? What'd you do?
Oh shit, what was mine? Worked too much. It was depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing interesting. Nothing gang.
Nothing gang. Do you know what's gang going on tomorrow here in this part of town?
We have Pride.
We have Mardi Gras going on, and they literally, where I live, they literally march down the main street, Oxford Street, and then go down into the entertainment quarter where like Fox Studios is and stuff, and there's bars in there, and they just fill that up, and it's actually noisy in my apartment because we're talking about like hearing stadium events.
Do you need tickets to get into that?
I'm not sure. Like,
Because like it
people
would be
join
it would be sick to party and get drunk, but I'm
So many people join it.
I'm not
Like
into
straight
that.
people join it.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like again, no.
And
beef,
like, I
'cause-
find that like, are we trampling on their fun night? Like, is there too many straights going when they're just trying to have fun?
nah. I mean, at the end of the day,
It's their night.
Those motherfuckers turn up. They don't think about
Mhm.
they don't think about anything else but
And they are very exclusive because they know what it feels like to be excluded.
totally.
So they're very inclusive. Not did I say exclusive? They're very inclusive, so
Inclusive,
they
yeah.
would let.
And think about all the people who are like telling their friends, "Oh, let's go to this thing," and then they end up being gay, but they don't feel comfortable coming out, so they want their straight friends to go with them, so it's like a thing,
Yeah.
so they can like move around and feel, you know.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Feel it
yeah.
out.
Yeah,
Just go. Hey, I never thought of that.
I just it came off the top of my head then. Yeah, but
Damn.
it's yeah, bro. I watched that movie and I'm trying to be more compassionate.
Yeah, you're trying to read people's minds, man.
Yeah. So that was basically, in a nutshell, that was What Women Wants. It was a fucking good movie, man. Mel Gibson, Helen Hunt was sick.
We were like engaged. It was an engaging movie, and it had some really long monologues. So there was like slow scenes, but it
Yeah.
was still like shit was happening, and you're like, yes, you need to say this, bro.
Fuck yeah, yeah.
What do you think? What do you think Mel Gibson's real reaction would be? Do you know anything about the real Mel Gibson?
Yeah, of course.
Because
Mel
I
Gibson's
recently saw
anti-Semitic and stuff and all that stuff.
Is he?
Did you know Mel Gibson was pulled over by police officers? I think one of them or both of them were females. I think one of them was a female. And he said something along the lines of, "What's up, sugar tits?"
No.
He called the police officers sugar tits. I'm paraphrasing, but I know the word.
Something like that.
Something sugar tits. He called her sugar tits.
Whoa.
So like, I don't know. Dude, it's
That's
fame.
That's some act confidence. Exactly. Fame confidence.
Does stuff to you, man. Like even if I was like Brad Pitt famous, I don't think I could get away with like running a red light and then a cop pulls me over and be like, "Hey, I'm Brad Pitt. Let me
But you
go."
might think so.
I don't think I would. I think I'd accept it and be like, "Look, yeah, I'm sorry I did this. It's all right. I'll pay for a chauffeur for the rest of the fucking year until I get my license back." But like, I would just feel like an idiot, like a chauvinistic douche if I was like, "I'm this person. If I autograph you, nobody has to know I ran a red light." You'd be like, "Fuck you, dude. How do I know you're not going to do it again? As a police officer, I need to protect and serve."
You know, Kevin Hart has had a lot of issues and big car crashes because he just gets blind drunk and drives.
That motherfucker, oh, dude. See, that's not cool, man. Like,
That's not cool at all.
What about the people on the pedestrians?
Yeah, that
and
he's
other
having the
people?
crashes with
Yeah,
as
dude.
well.
Imagine the payout. Imagine.
He's broken his back from a car crash before.
Do you think he'd be an arrogant little cunt too? Like, motherfucker, I'm Kevin Hart. You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you think he'd
I
be
think
like,
he was, and he's learned some lessons because he had bad alcoholism.
"That's bad, man. Alcoholism, really."
Well, like he was drinking way too much. and he
Party
would
too hard.
Yeah. Drink all the time. And you know what his worst trait is? I read his book. Well, I had his book read to me by him on Audible.
Right. Was it any good? Was it insightful or nah?
Yeah, it's just a really cool story because he basically he was just selling shoes, bro.
Mm.
And then he just started telling like jokes, and people were like, "Oh my God, you should be a comedian." And he's like, "Oh, maybe I should do an open mic night." And, and then he worked for 13 years trying to build his own name. And then when he suddenly got famous from a couple of movie roles that he scored, he was the overnight sensation.
Yeah.
Working for 13 years, slogging your ass off, getting your own brand out there, doing your own shows, not signing up to show tours from other people because he wanted to just do his own thing. Oh my God, the overnight sensation, Kevin Hart. Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
Never
bro.
mind the 13 years I just spent grinding.
I remember him in like Scary Movie 3 in 2000 and fucking whatever. Like, I remember him in a lot of old stuff, bro.
One of his first major roles was he's the villain in that Matthew McConaughey movie where he's like a gold diver.
He was a villain in that.
Yeah.
Fool's Gold.
Yeah, Fool's Gold. That's the one. And he's the one in the white suit with the cat or the rabbit.
I don't remember that.
That's Kevin Hart, dude.
Oh shit, yeah.
He's the antagonist. That was like his first big role, apparently.
He had like a small role in like 40-year-old version.
Yeah.
He's like, "That's your boy, huh?" Yeah, he's like,
And it's quite
I'm
recent.
to disrespect. Yeah, dude.
I didn't realize how recently famous he is because I felt like I've known him for so long.
Because he did that shit with The Rock and stuff, and like, someone take a look at this. Someone take a look at this. You know,
Yeah.
like all that. Like when memes, I think memes really helped him out too. But
Yeah, with his
yeah,
That look, the sideways head.
Yeah. But I personally I never really got into Kevin Hart. Like I've tried to watch some of his stand-up. I don't think it's funny. I think Kevin Hart himself is cool.
You mean his stand-up you're not a fan of?
I just him his accomplishments.
It's not my style either.
His accomplishments, especially in stand-up, I've never really got into.
Yeah.
But I mean, he makes people laugh in his films and stuff.
Yeah, his films I think are pretty funny. Have you seen Jumanji?
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
I thought the Jumanji films are dope, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Kevin Hart in Soul Plane. He was fucking awesome.
Oh, I haven't even seen that.
He was the main character in Soul Plane, man. Soul Plane was dope, dude. Fucking great film.
So
Sofia Vergara in that, before she did Modern Family, bro.
I gotta see it.
Snoop Dogg's the pilot. Terry Crews.
Terry Crews is in it as well.
Terry Crews plays the security guard. He's got some short roles, yeah. What's the dude? Tim Allen? Tim Arnold. Tim Arnold's in it,
I
yeah.
was going to say Tim Allen as in Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that Tim Allen does that I would know?
Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, is that Tim Allen?
Yeah.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Tom Hanks is Woody.
He's the new Lightyear as well, isn't he?
No. That's Chris Evans, Captain America.
Was it really the voice in the new Lightyear movie?
Yeah, bro. I've got Lightyear. My friend, hey Miranda, if you're listening to this, Miranda, I call her the Oracle. She's always been like my tech whiz woman. She pirated a bunch of films for me.
Incriminated,
yeah, gang. So thank you, thanks, Em.
Yeah, that's dope. What did you think of that? I only watched it recently on my trip.
Lightyear?
on the plane. Yeah,
I haven't watched it yet. I've been at the work conferences the last 2 days. Doesn't it have Taika Waititi? He's one of the characters in it.
I don't know the voices, but it's cool.
It's cool. The animated one's cool.
I thought it was great because they you know how they tie it to the Toy Story movies. They say right at the start, they're like, in this year, which was the year of Toy Story, I don't remember, 1990 something. He's like, a little boy got a toy Buzz Lightyear from his favorite movie, and he's like, this is that, and then it says, this is that movie. So they're playing the story that Andy watched, and then he wanted the toy of Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear from Star Command. Yeah,
how cool is that?
Did you see that in the cinema?
No, on the plane.
Oh,
on my recent trip.
Yeah. Dude, fuck yeah. That's sick.
What a cool concept. How to tie it in. We're like, how do we make like Buzz Lightyear become a real character, not a toy?
Yeah.
And it's deep. It's like some interstellar shit.
Did you see when they were doing Buzz Lightyear, they had that pie cost?
Pie cost? What's a pie cost? I got you!
About $4.50 with sauce.
Damn, son, what a joke! Didn't see that one coming.
Do you feel like...
Can you smell up dog?
Bro, that shit's fucking mad funny.
So, bro, the reason I asked about Mel Gibson's real reaction, and I don't know anything about Mel Gibson, but I saw recently Robert Downey Jr. doing a speech at like what was it, the Emmys or whatever the fuck it was?
I didn't see that.
Oscars?
What was that about?
But he was like talking about like how Mel Gibson was like the guy that was like helped him on his feet when he had his addictions and shit.
Yeah.
So he gave him like that window. I had no idea they were that close, and he was like his fucking savior kind of thing. And he like gives him this really compelling speech, and Mel Gibson's standing there just like stoic.
Stoic, yeah. I think Mel Gibson. I think you see Mel Gibson in like old Aussie films like Mad Max, and even you see him in some earlier American films. He seems like he still has his sanity, but when you look at him now, he just has this like Joker like look in his face, like he's been broken. You know,
he's almost got a Nicholson face now.
Yeah, harder. Like a Nicholson grin. We should call it
the Nicholson grin.
Yeah.
What about his voice?
I didn't
what did you say about his voice?
His voice is like rocks being thrown around in a garbage can, a metal garbage can.
Yeah, gravel.
Oh yeah, I think we should do that.
I think you shouldn't be so sad.
Mel Gibson, he has had a lot of like, he has done the same rant Kanye West did about Jewish people and the industry.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, huge anti-Semitic. Like, I don't know. I don't know too much about it. From what I've heard, like, it was enough to challenge them as
That's
people.
weird because he has a scene in this film where one of his work colleagues' boyfriend is a Jewish guy.
Gives him
a
the yarmulke.
yarmulke.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him trying to smooth over his real emotions and
Exactly,
thoughts.
an actor.
What a douchebag.
But he's obviously made Passion of the Christ, which was like Passion of the Christ was like very confronting. And then he also did Apocalypto.
was that like a religious movie?
Passion of the Christ?
I never seen it, bro.
Bro, Passion of the Christ is a story of Jesus' persecution.
Oh shit!
Like, bro, it's graphic. It's like it's
an actual representation of the Bible, or
well, yeah,
story?
yeah, it's like Jesus is like, so the film starts basically with Jesus and his disciples telling them like we're fucked, like I'm fucked, but it's for nobody help me, like I need to do this. It shows like, you know, him threatening the Jewish religion, so all the Jewish elders are like going up to like Pontius Pilate, the Roman who was like taking care of the area at the time, and was like, Leo, this motherfucker's like, I know you don't give a fuck about Jewish people, Roman general, but you know, this dude's threatening us, threatening our religion. Can you guys just fucking deal with him? So the Jewish bring him towards Caesar, basically, this dude, and they're like, because Jewish people obviously were always rioting and like having conflicting interests with the Romans. So like they were like, if you want to keep the peace with us, we want you to kill this fucking dude because he's saying he's the son of God and shit. So like the Romans are like, we have no choice. We don't know who this fucking peasant is. Fuck Jesus, you know. Like they asked Jesus, like, look, these dudes have brought these crazy allegations towards you. Do you want to defend yourself? And Jesus knew, he was like, he had to be crucified to save men's sins or some shit. So he was like, no, it's what they're saying is true. Things like that. And they're like,
sacrificed himself.
The Roman, yeah, he did. Yeah, the Romans like, bro, are you sure? We're like, we could probably get you out of this. We don't give a fuck about it. And he was like, no, it's cool. So they're like, all right, dude.
All right,
you're going to be crucified. So
that's the worst kind of death.
The Romans tied him down, man, and they were like, they had like a board full of torture weapons. They were whipping him with the nine tails, you know, the nine tails?
Yeah.
Dude, it's like metal, and then they pull it, and it's like, you see, like, they ripped his chest, and you see his rib cage, and like, they beat the fucking shit out of him, put the crown of thorns on him, and then he has to carry his own fucking cross, which is like this heavy, probably weighed about like 150 kilos.
Yeah, it's a giant beam.
He has to carry it from like here to probably like town hall away, bro.
Ugh.
Like just like maybe no. I'd say maybe from here to Surrey Hills.
Yeah.
So you're just like through narrow streets and people just like berating you, and then he has to like. So Mel Gibson showed
while your ribs are exposed.
And he had wounds all over him, dude. That were like thick wounds, like gashes, like a tiger scratching your flesh gashes. So basically, Mel Gibson showed all that, the bloody sacrifice, and obviously, you know, he did well in that, I suppose, and like he did fucking Apocalypto, and then he did Hacksaw Ridge. I thought Hacksaw.
Did he do Hacksaw Ridge?
He did Hacksaw Ridge, bro.
You weren't a fan, were you? I fucking thought that was.
He
sick.
brought it back to Australia. That's where all the actors in it are Australian, bro.
Right.
Most of them were Australian because he was like, I'm gonna film this in Australia.
What did you think of that movie? Because I thought it was fucking crazy.
The acting was good, really good, but especially from Andrew Garfield. But the problem was. And Hugo Weaving did a great job too. Mr. Anderson, you know that guy, he played the dad. But I thought it was just like super Hollywood pow shoot.
It was a lot of pow shoot, but I thought it was like insanely graphic.
Oh yeah,
like they're crawling along the ridge, and the guy like accidentally puts his arm on like a dead guy's crutch that he thinks is dead, and the guy just like jumps up and then just gets fucking nailed.
They start yelling at each other in the face.
Yeah, and then he just gets shot through the face and then kills the American soldier. And like, oh god,
Japanese were ruthless, man.
Ruthless. They're like, oh, someone yelling. Dud, 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 dud.
Yeah. But like the part where he's like, "Hey, Vince Vaughn, I'm gonna like carry you, and you shoot the gun while I'm carrying you." That was like trash, man.
Yeah, true. That was very Hollywood.
Did
that really happen? I don't think so.
And obviously completely different directors, but Mel Gibson's got a lot of like, Mel Gibson can really, if he wants you to, if you watch Apocalypto and then you watch Hacksaw Ridge, you'd think it's a different director.
Really?
Apocalypto is like based like the Mayans. It was fucking dope, dude. I love that film. You haven't seen it?
No.
Dude, Apocalypto is crazy.
Really?
I'll send you the link. You got to watch it later. Yeah. But like if you watch Saving Private Ryan and then you watch Hacksaw Ridge, you'd be like, Hacksaw Ridge.
Who's Private Ryan?
Saving Private Ryan's
Director? Don't know.
Steven Spielberg.
Oh, it's Spielberg.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, that's
Spielberg,
fuck.
of course, Spielbergo. And like, if you watch
What
that
about
new
Cameron?
James Cameron,
Yeah.
Cameron's the man, bro.
Oh, bro.
We all-
Recently rewatched Titanic, and I was just
Memento.
like, what the fuck?
Oh,
That's
wait.
so well done.
Sorry, I'm thinking of the different. Yeah, Cameron did the Avatar films, eh?
Yeah, and Titanic and Avatars.
Yeah. Titanic was. I'll have to watch Titanic again.
I think it's brilliant, but
Yeah,
I'm
like,
quite
I-
obsessed with that
I don't-
disaster. But
I don't dislike it. I mean, obviously, I like me with everyone else. I dislike the door situation on the end.
oh yeah, of course. But the whole way the storyline is told, because like before his film, Titanic was a disaster ship, like a big ship that sank on its first voyage, and then he put this completely emotional storyline to it, and then had this soundtrack. Obviously, props to the fucking people that wrote the soundtrack, but that was just spot on. And now everyone, whenever you think of Titanic, you're just like, every night in my dreams,
I see you. Yeah.
I feel.
Bro, the end when she's like an old woman and I think she dies and then she like goes back and he's there waiting for her, that shit hits different, son. Like,
Different. She goes back into the ocean and everything comes back alive and he's there waiting for her. He's like, I've been waiting.
bro, it was like watching that as a little kid, because I haven't seen it for a long time, but watching it as a kid, I was like, it was scary because like I was younger than the character he was playing, but that character wasn't too far off my age, you know, maybe in the next 10 years. And I was like, you know, we're not, even though we're young, we're just as vulnerable. Like adults, it's like adults die, not young kids. And then you saw that and you're like, bro, that kid had so much potential and he fucking died. He froze to death.
Along with,
And while he was in love, you know?
along with more than half of the ship.
Yeah. And like, you know, I've seen like this comedian laughing at like, he was saying, oh, what's the actor's name? The actor, do you know he has like the Family Feud? He's got the big mustache. He's like, what do you call a snack that women can't get enough of? My penis. Oh.
I know the guy. Yeah, I know the guy. Yeah.
He did a joke on Titanic, and I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, he's like, when you see the white people playing the instruments as the ship's going down, you ain't never seen a black man do that. He's like, we be fucking da-da-da-da-da. He's talking shit. It's like,
surviving and shit.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, pretty much. He's like, why the fuck would you be playing an instrument while the ship's going down? Yeah. And I was like, there's just some cultural divides that they don't get about us, like, and we will never get about them.
Well, cultural divides, and like there is a big age divide there. The Titanic was 1912, man. Shit was different back then. That's over 100 years ago now.
Nobility and honor was like,
Oh
peak.
man, so different.
I'm gonna go down, you know. How many captains? So I got ice in my mouth. How many captains still go down with the ship to this day? Do you think?
Nobody. They would be idiots.
Yeah. He's like, I'll just turn this onboard computer on and get the fuck out.
Yeah, they would be idiots. They'd be
Hot round.
hot round.
If you had a ship, what would you call it? 3, 2, 1.
I don't know. I was thinking
Come
like Gigantica, but that's so lame.
Gigantica?
I was like, oh man, I'm just going down the Titanic route.
I thought you were
That's
going to call it
bullshit.
like fucking Andromeda.
Yeah, see, you always pick that space for me, whereas I just don't. I don't even go there. Where's my creative mind?
Dude, you should have called it Zygazond.
Sehr gesund.
Zygazond.
Gewehrgesund.
Gewehre Splecken. Gewehre sein.
Oh, dude. Hey, I got to tell you about what I did today. Holy shit.
I asked you about your week and you said you ain't done nothing.
Oh, because yeah, it was today something happened. So today I redid. So I go to Anytime Fitness. We go at lunchtime with my team leader at work.
Anytime.
And we take two of the other blokes come every now and then. Well, one of the guys started up and he's coming regularly. And they do these little monthly competitions. And we've never really looked at them. And we're like, yeah, whatever. Like it was like plank one time, longest plank or something. We weren't really interested. And then I was working from home one time and Adam and my team leader went. And they saw the challenge and it was like fastest 500-meter row on the rowing machine. I'm like, oh yeah. And they sent me a photo and they're like, warm up tomorrow for back day because I was going to be back in the office tomorrow. I was like, oh yeah, warm up, sick. So we went there and we're like, all right, let's try and beat these times. And the fastest time was 1:34
Fuck off.
for 500-meter row. Now, if you're not a rower, go and do it because it hits different when you're trying to sprint for 1:34. That's 94 seconds. That's a long time if you put on a timer and go, I'm sprinting, like trying to beat a time. It's hard. So I went first because I was like, oh, you go first. And he's like, no, you. So I gave in and went first because I was like, oh, I'm just going to set like a marker. And I rode, and all I had in my mind was 1:34. I got to beat it because you have this big display that shows you your pace per 500 meters. So that's exactly what you're going to finish on. So if you can row it and have like I was just making sure my pace was around 1:30. So I was rowing to this pace, and then I got like halfway and I was like, oh, this is a long time. And I kept going and I kind of died off, and then you'd try and do like a little sprint at the end. So I got 1:32. I beat the current time.
Nice.
And then my team leader goes on, Eli, and he's like, well, I'm obviously going to beat it. He's a bit taller than me as well. I'm like, yeah, you got the height advantage. So he jumps on and just like smashes. And I was like, oh, damn, his pace is looking way quicker. And he does 1:28.3. 1:28.3. So beats me by like 4.5 seconds because mine was like 32.8. And he's like, smashed me. And I was like, yeah, okay, but you had the target. And right after he does it, he's like, ooh, and he like falls to his knee and he's like, oh man, that didn't feel pleasant. And I was like, yeah, cool. And I'm like still puffing from mine. And I was like, all right, should we at least get like a little lat pump? He's like, mate, I don't think I've got a workout ahead of me. And he like walked to the bathroom and shut the door in the gym bathroom. And then like 10 minutes go by and I was like, all right, I'll do a few bicep sets, like 15 minutes. And I see the two staff members because they have to watch when you do the competition so they can record the time to make sure it's legit. And the two staff members / PTs were like talking, and then I saw them like nervously looking over at the bathroom door. And I was like, and I like walked over there and made eye contact with them and like looked at, and they were like, is he all right? Like, I was like, oh, I'm sure he's fine. And he's like, I'm going to give it like another 2 minutes and I'm going to knock on the door. He's legit worried for him. Like he'd passed out or something or was vomiting his guts up. And so I messaged him. I'm like, hey man, are you all right? He's like, I'm paying for it. Like he was in pain, dude.
What was it? Was he throwing up?
No, he tried to. He wanted to. And he was like, nah, I can't throw up ever. So I don't know. So he was just like lightheaded and just like, oh God, what have I done?
Did he come out after that?
Yeah. And then he was like, all right, I'm done. And just went back to work. And I had done like 10 sets of bicep curls. I was like, dude, you missed out on the bicep workout. And I recovered fairly quickly. And I was like, surely I can do better. I can slog myself better. So this is a monthly competition. So it's getting towards the end of Feb now as we record this. So today I was like, I'm going to have to reattempt. Got to try and beat you. And we went to the gym and I almost didn't do it. I was like, oh, I'm not feeling 100%. I don't know if I want to do it. We were about to do some like back workout. And they're like, come on, as if you're not going to attempt it. I was like, God damn it. So I slogged myself on a rowing machine before doing any other workout. Did like a couple of stretches, a couple of warm-up rows.
How long does it usually go for to reach that goal? How long are you rowing for?
Well, it's 500 meters, and it took me 1:32 the first time. So it's exactly 1:32. That's it.
Fuck.
That's all it is.
That's a lot.
1.5 minutes.
So I asked the wrong question. My bad. How many times do you hit the row? Like boom, 1, 2, 3?
It works out an average to like just over 1 a second. Damn. So you're doing like 90 rows almost.
Shit.
But I didn't really think of that way. But like for the last 100 meters, you kind of know you're like, okay, like 10 more strokes and I'm good. Or like a little bit more. But so I started pacing out hard and I was like trying to do like full length rows right up to my neck. And I was pacing at 1:25. And I was trying to hold that and I held that till halfway and I saw it go to 250 meters and I was just like, I am so fatigued. And I was like, just keep going. And it just started creeping up. Like my pace just started dying. And then I hit 1:30 and I was like, no, I can't lose this. And I just kept pulling. And then it got to like the last little bit and I wanted to sprint for like the last 10, 15 seconds. So I was like, all right, go even harder. And I just had my eyes closed and I had music in my earbuds. And I was like, come on, like out loud. I was like,
Were they
"Fucking-"
sitting there watching you?
Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to put music in because you guys aren't going to encourage me. And Eli was like, yeah, no, there's no encouragement for me. I want to sabotage this. I was like, so I close my eyes and I'm like doing the last little bit. And I see it go down to like 20 meters. I'm like, goddamn. And I finish and I hear them both go, oh. And I looked down and I saw the big pace first and it's at 1:31. I was like, no, I've only beaten myself by 1 second. But I looked down and I did 1:27.3. I beat him by a whole second.
Holy shit.
So I'm currently leading.
Was he like, fucking?
He was like, I really hope you don't beat me because I really don't want to reattempt it. Because I'm like, yeah, because you almost fucking died last time.
Yeah.
So now he's going to have to reattempt. He wants to reattempt on the last day of the month on Tuesday.
Bruh.
So I was like, you better bring your puffer, boy.
Yeah,
He's got like a bit of asthma. He's like, and he didn't have it with him. So that's why he's like genuinely concerned.
Mm.
But that is horrible, dude. Like 5 minutes later, I was like walking it out and we got conflicting information. One of Eli's friends told us after you do it, lay down and put your legs up over your head. So
Lactic
your blood,
acid?
Yeah, so the lactic acid and blood can like come out of your legs and back into your head. But I went to do that and the personal trainer at the gym was like, no, don't do that because your heart rate will drop way too quickly and you'll just get like dizzy and sick and like no good. So he's like,
these PTs at
He's
this
like,
place
keep
are
walking.
super interactive with you guys. Why?
well, because they got to watch. Because
So-
you're doing an official row competition. So they write down that the prize is 2 weeks free gym membership.
So are you you and your mate competing with others or just the two of you?
No, there's others. Like it's a little board that they hang up for
And
the whole month.
you're beating everyone in the entire gym.
Everyone in the gym that's attempted it, which is
Bro,
not
that's
that many.
fucking awesome.
Not that many people. But yeah, I'm beating everyone right now. But I think Eli will beat me out of sheer determination and just because he's got a goal to beat.
So you
But
have
he
to,
will not feel good afterwards. I
Yeah.
guarantee it. He's going to die.
So you got to walk up to the PT and be like, "Hey, by the way, I want to try this. Can you come
Yeah,
watch
I'm
me?"
going to reattempt. I said, yeah. And they're
And
like,
so they're
oh,
going to come
okay.
over and watch you.
Yeah, because they watched the first one and they're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And then Eli beat it again and they're like, shit, you guys are leading.
Yeah, true.
Dude, we beat one of the PTs did it just after Eli. We beat him by more than 10 seconds. He did it in 140 something.
Damn,
142.
that's a feat, bro.
That's weak. We were like, you're a PT here, bro?
Yeah.
Get your rowing act together. We don't even row.
You ever used creatine before, dog?
Yeah, what's going on? So currently I'm winning, but I have a feeling that Eli will beat me, and I really don't want to reattempt it because it was
Is it
horrific.
just like,
Yeah,
do you have
like-
to put it to a certain weight or anything, or do you just smash it?
Oh yeah, top. Like on level 10 of the rowing resistance. So
There
the
you go.
top.
See, I knew there was something else in there.
Yeah, it's
That's
got to be level
fucked.
10 and you got to do 500 meters. And the rowing machine times it all for you. So you just set up 500 meters and you get ready. As soon as you pull, it starts the timer. So you just go, here we go, and start. And then as soon as you hit 500, it stops the timer.
Are you guys like, like how fucking fast do you have to be?
Yeah, well, it's like almost 1 a second, but you're trying to do full strokes. So you don't want to be like, ugh, as quick as possible. You want to go full knees to like a sitting squat and then all the way forward with your back and your arms stretched out and then fully all the way back, outstretched back and like pull the thing all the way up to your like your chest/throat. That's why I was saying I was going all the way to the throat to get like a really long stroke because that way you get more distance and better time, obviously. But it was a slog. And when I finished, they're like, oh, how are you feeling? Everyone's like full concerned. And I was like, oh, it doesn't feel too bad. Doesn't feel too bad. 5 minutes later, like it was delayed in my legs. It felt okay. And I was like, yeah, a little bit wobbly. 5 minutes later, it just rushed all this lactic acid in there. And it was just like this huge pump. And I was like, ow, get it out.
Yeah.
So I walked around for a bit and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the lay down thing. My heart rate's had enough time to slow down. I was like, put my legs up. I was like, get out of there.
Fuck. Unreal, bro. Did you do a workout after that?
No.
So they stayed and you got the fuck out of there?
Yeah, so I got that like cardio cough, you know, when you feel like there's like blood rushing through your throat area. And I was like, I'm developing asthma.
Yeah.
And I like walked around and everyone's like, you good? You good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And I was like, I'm just going to have a cold rinse. And I walked into the bathroom to put the shower on cold. I was like,
I gotta, you know what I gotta do? I gotta go to the fucking gym and because we got a rowing machine there, and just
sit on
try
that
it.
fucking rower, put it on 10, and you can set it up to like a distance and then put it to 500 meters and then show the display to show your pace. So it'll say minutes per 500. So then you can see what you're pacing at. And see if you can even if you want to do just like practice rows, don't do the full 90 seconds, but see if you can pace to like 125. Because that's what I did first. I was like, how hard is this? I sat down and I did like 4 pulls and I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to row hard. And they're
Yeah.
like, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. And I was like, fuck, I have to
Fuck, that's great, man.
now. So I was feeling wrecked for the afternoon just from 90 seconds of working out. Is that even good for you?
Oh man, it's
Going
going to be
from nothing to
either you're
just-
super unfit or like that's like the best thing you could do for yourself, eh?
Like I feel pretty good now. Like I was like, oh yeah, I really got that blood flowing, and you feel a bit more connected to your body because you're like, I've just put myself through some physical suffering. It's great.
Mm. You would have had a good sleep that night for sure.
Oh, that was today, bro.
Oh, dude.
So I'm about to have a good sleep.
Yeah, you're gonna feel it tomorrow, man, or today, whatever
Yeah.
fucking time it is.
Whatever time it is.
All right, we should probably call it there, right?
You know what we didn't do?
What's that?
New poll. So the new poll, I've got 2 films here. Let me know if you like them. Scott Pilgrim versus the World,
Very nice.
Madagascar. I don't know how that came up in conversation, but I wrote it down.
Should we put role models in there for an honorable mention?
Yeah, let's do it because I was going to say we could choose to do role models because it came second, but let's give it another shot. We'll give it another running. So your 3 options are, scroll down and vote, as always, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Great film.
Best film.
Ramona Flowers.
Ramona Flowers.
Madagascar. Also great kids film, in my
I've
opinion.
never watched it. Hey?
You've never watched Madagascar?
Negative.
And number 3, we'll do
Role models.
role models again. Stifler in a different role.
Steffi.
In a different role models.
Sean William Scott.
Sean William Scott.
That was naughty. And to send us off,
What do you got for us?
let's see what I have, man.
I haven't used one bullet. I can never think of hot round questions.
You're being very timid, yeah.
I had the deep questions this time, not the hot round questions.
Gordy, wrestling's fake. Wrestling's not fake!
Yeah, I know that scene.
Wrestling's not
fake.
Ready to Rumble, great film. All right, guys, thanks for listening. And just remember, if you want to reduce the splash of the water on your ass, put a little toilet paper down, will you? Amen.